Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today I'd like to rant on the war on Home Assistant, and I'm just sick and tired of seeing company after company come up with these BS reasons for why it is that they're trying to destroy this beautiful piece of software. Home Assistant is a great piece of smart home open source software. And before you scream, I don't want a smart home, they're for idiot. Home Assistant are one of the good guys. It's completely open source. It's controlled by you. You don't have to connect it to the internet in order for it to work. It's free. It's made by nerds all over the planet that just want you to have a better way to deal with your stuff. They do have paid tiers and paid plans if you want a bunch of support and other things. But if you don't need support, free. I use it right now. It's a great piece of software. And this connects to a thermostat in my house. It doesn't connect to the internet. These two thermostats that I have are using a local API. They're literally blocked from connected to the internet. My Home Assistant machine is blocked from connected to the internet. So if I'm coming home 4 hours early and I want my AC to be turned on so it's not a furnace in here, I VPN into my house and I just click a button and I've lowered the temperature. I love it. And the problem with Home Assistant as it stands right now is that it is a small open source project. Most of the developers that are developing these extensions for it are random people that are not getting paid for it, that are just nerds. They're just people that tried the application made by the manufacturer, thought, this sucks, I want something better. They write a better app and they share it with the world for free. I love those people. Unfortunately, this is what happens when they do that. Whether we're talking about Mazda filing false DMCA notices, or we talk about Haier filing these nonsensical cease and desist claims because they don't like the people who are using better applications, this has become an ongoing thing. And BMW is the next one to do it. And BMW did it in a very ballsy way because they did it right after an EU regulation came out that they're explicitly spitting in the face of. So what did BMW do? BMW has something with their cars where you could control the electric car charging, or you can have it charge during certain times based on what's most efficient. Or let's say you have a home solar setup, or let's say you get cheaper electricity during certain times of the day. You can control it using the application. New standards for charging control of your vehicle via third-party providers. To ensure the security of your personal data and to better protect your vehicle, the option of allowing third-party providers to control your vehicle charging will be limited from September. In the future, remote charging control via third parties will only be possible via a compatible electricity provider. To find out which providers are compatible, please see below. If you're already using a compatible electricity provider for charging control, the transition to a new process will happen automatically. Your provider will notify you if additional steps are required. It will also no longer be possible to control the charging of your vehicle via home automation systems, but you can continue to use the My BMW app charging and status functions as normal. Now, there are a lot of people who posted bug reports for this, and they actually came up with a solution. And then a few days later, BMW continued the cat and mouse game and figured out, oh, you figured out a way to use what you're buying and paying for. We're taking that away from you. And there are a number of GitHub issues documenting this that you'll find inside the article that I wrote for consumerrights.wiki on this. Now, what bothers me about this is that people are actually paying for this. This is not free connectivity in your car. Because in prior car videos I've done, people have said, well, you didn't pay for that. There are people that are paying $150 a year to be able to use that API. And if you're paying $150 a year to be able to use the API, you have the right as a customer to use the API. They're saying, well, now you only have the right to use it through our application. And the worst part of this is that there are people that are likely have already paid for it that didn't know that they were going to shut it off. And if you had paid for the year up front, now you've paid for the year up front for something that you didn't even know you were no longer going to be able to use. That is fucked up. And when they say that they did this because they care about security, bullshit. Past data security incidents. In 2015, security researcher Dieter Spar discovered critical flaws in BMW's connected drive system that left 2.2 million vehicles vulnerable to remote attacks. APT infiltration. The Vietnamese state-sponsored hacking group Ocean Lotus breached BMW's corporate networks and remained undetected from March 2019 to December 2019. UK customer database breach. The Kelvin Security hacking group compromised personal information of over 380,000 BMW customers in the UK and offered it for sale on darknet forums. There was a ransomware attack, an Azure misconfiguration resulted in a storage bucket exposing BMW's private keys, and so on and so forth. And if you read through every single one of those security glitches, not a single fucking one mentioned somebody using Home Assistant to adjust their charging or their air conditioning. Home Assistant is not the vector for this. Blocking people like this is not the vector for this. And frankly, this is not about security, because if you cared about security, you would have been doing something about this for the past 10 fucking years. You didn't. Home Assistant right now, if you trust the analytics, which are, I don't believe they're on by default, but correct me if I'm wrong, is being used, this plugin is being used by over 5,000 people. I have Home Assistant analytics turned off in my instance of Home Assistant, so you can't see what plugins I use. But just to the people that decided I am going to allow Home Assistant's website to see details on my setup, over 5,000 people are using this. And you just turned off access to it, like it's nothing. And this is the problem here. It's not about safety or security, because that they don't care. The entire automotive industry has been selling your data to data brokers who then sell that information to insurance companies without your consent for the past 10 years. This is not about security of your data. It is not about the money even, because somebody may say, well, you're not paying for it. Yes, you are. Those 5,000 people using this are paying for BMW's connected API services. It is about control. Is this your car or their car? Is that your internet connection that you're paying for, or is it theirs? BMW thinks it's theirs. This is an EU directive that I believe went into effect a few days ago. This is 2023-2854 regulation of the European Parliament and of the Council. The user bears the risks and enjoys the benefits of using the connected product, and should also enjoy access to the data it generates. The user should therefore be entitled to derive benefit from data generated by that connected product and any related service. Any owner, renter, or leasee should be considered to be a user, including where several entities can be considered as users. At the same time, but this is going into effect to give people access to the data in their vehicles. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't understand EU law very much, but what I do know is that the EU tends to look more at the spirit of the law rather than the letter of the law. And when I read this, the spirit of the law that I'm getting from this is that if I paid for my car, I paid for the computer inside my car, and I paid for the Connected Services API, that you should not give two shits of a fuck whether I'm using the BMW connected app or the Home Assistant integration to charge my car. But that's just me. Being able to utilize this connected API without having to go through BMW's application means that there are many companies and many people that are using this in a way that protects the grid without going to BMW's app. They're going to have to redo their workflow now to use BMW's system. And in the process, while they're redoing all their workflows, we have less efficient usage of the electrical grid. Maybe more blackouts. Maybe wasted energy. All just so that you could control who uses your fucking API. Good job, BMW. Good job. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. And if you're interested, by the way, before I go, I almost left before. If you are interested in learning how to use Home Assistant or anything like that, or you want to do any of this kind of crazy self-hosting stuff that I talk about on the channel from time to time, I have, for those new to the channel, I do have a 900 plus page guide that goes over everything. When I say everything, I mean setting up a VPN, setting up ad blocking, putting together your own server, setting up a mail server, calendar server, contact server, security camera system, air conditioner with Home Assistant, replacing Google Drive with your own system, with SyncThing, replacing Google Photos with Image, replacing Google Docs, Sheets, and Keep with Only Office, replacing business phone system with free PBX, how to set up Bitwarden, although I don't suggest you do that on your own if you're a newbie, and just a bunch of different shit. If you're interested in any of this type of self-hosting stuff, this guide tries to make it as easy as humanly possible, going over every single detail, and is something that can be maintained by the community. So if you see that I made an error, you're able to correct it. As you can see, I'm holding the page down key and it's still going. I think I froze my browser. Oh, here we go. My keyboard had a wireless drop before it finished getting to it's not to the end yet. I tried to make this so that if I were trying to do this from scratch, as brain dead as I am, even I would be able to follow it. And I try to not just tell you, here's what we're doing, but here's why we're doing it this way as well for a number of items. So hope that you find this helpful. You don't have to do everything that's in this guide. You know, this is obviously like, this is kind of like literally the guide to everything. You could just pick out a section and maybe it helps you out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.